Final Year 5 Homework 12 walkthrough. Read the following questions. Then, write the letter of the correct answer. Question 1. As used in paragraph 3, which is the best definition for the word crucial? The options are A. Very big, B. Very good, C. Very important, or D. Very difficult. Let's look at the passage. It says, patience is crucial. If you don't have patience, you will never be able to teach your dog tricks. Here, crucial means something essential or necessary to succeed. The best answer is very important. The answer to question 1 is C. Very important. Question 2. The main purpose of paragraph 4 is to A. Show how difficult dog training can be. B. Provide concrete advice on how to train a dog. C. Prove that the author is an expert in dog training. Or D. Suggest that treats are the most important part of dog training. Paragraph 4 gives us clear steps on how to train a dog, like using verbal and physical cues and rewarding with treats. This shows that the paragraph is all about giving practical advice for dog training. The answer to question 2 is B. Provide concrete advice on how to train a dog. Question 3. Based on the information in paragraph 4, we can understand that something verbal is A. Felt, barren seen, C. Heard, or D. Spoken. In the passage, verbal cues are commands, like sit or stay. These are spoken words the dog hears. The correct answer is spoken. The answer to question 3 is D. Spoken. Question 4. In paragraph 4, we learn about the importance of using physical cues to train your dog. Which of these choices also describes something physical? The options are A. Martha thinks about her husband. B. Angela dreams about her upcoming birthday. C. Rudy runs and kicks the soccer ball. Or D. Slater solves the math problem in his head. A physical cue involves action or movement. Among the choices, Rudy running and kicking the soccer ball is clearly physical. The answer to question 4 is C. Rudy runs and kicks the soccer ball. Question 5. Which of the following statements would Kyra Sundance most likely agree with? A. Dogs are very picky eaters. B. The author knows a lot about dogs. C. Dogs learn tricks best when hungry. Or D. Playing dead is the most popular dog trick. The passage mentions that Kyra advises training before dinner and rewarding with treats. This means dogs are more motivated to learn tricks when they're hungry. The answer to question 5 is C. Dogs learn tricks best when hungry. Read the following questions. Then, write the letter of the correct answer. Question 6. The second paragraph primarily serves to A. Define a term. B. Set the scene. C. Describe the narrator. Or D. Reveal the narrator's doubts. Let's think about it. The second paragraph explains what hitchhiking involves and sets the stage for the rest of the story. It gives the context for what the narrator is about to do. The answer to question 6 is A. Define a term. Question 7. The narrator's question at the end of paragraph 3 is meant to imply that the narrator A. Thought highly of himself when he was 21. B. Is still hurt by the rejections he experienced in the truck stop. C. Truly believes someone should have offered him a ride. Or D. Realizes how foolish it was to think that he would get a ride. At the end of paragraph 3, the narrator reflects on how unlikely it was for someone to pick him up, especially given his awkward situation. This shows that he recognizes how unrealistic his expectation was. The answer to question 7 is D. Realizes how foolish it was to think that he would get a ride. Question 8. According to the narrator, which of the following statements best explains why he was not given a ride by any of the truckers? A. He was too naive to understand how the world works. B. No one could be sure that he or the drivers weren't violent. C. It would have been against trucking company rules. Or D. It was illegal in that part of the country. The passage mentions that trucking companies have rules against picking up hitchhikers because it is considered unsafe. The answer to question 8 is C. It would have been against trucking company rules. Question 9. The passage as a whole makes it clear that the narrator, when he was 21, was A. Ambitious and unruly, B. Naive and romantic, C. Foolish and pessimistic, or D. Friendly and outgoing. The narrator describes himself as naive and inspired by a romanticized idea of hitchhiking based on books he had read. The answer to question 9 is B. Naive and romantic. Question 10. As used in paragraph 6, the phrase enamored with most nearly means A. Interested in, B. Scared of, C. Optimistic about, or D. Passionate about. The context shows that the narrator was captivated and deeply inspired by the idea of hitchhiking, which matches the meaning of passionate about. The answer to question 10 is D. Passionate about. Then, write the letter of the correct answer. Question 11. The first sentence in this passage is an example of something called a rhetorical question. Based on the way it is used in the passage, a rhetorical question is A. A question that no one can possibly answer. It is mainly used to make people think about something in a different way. B. A question that does not make sense. It is mainly used to let people know that they are about to read something confusing. C. A question that an author does not expect you to answer. It is mainly used to get someone interested in what they are about to read. Or D. A question that no one ever wants to answer. It is mainly used to make readers feel emotional about a topic. The first sentence of the passage asks, "Have you ever gotten in trouble for not making your bed?" The author does not expect an answer, but uses it to get the reader curious about the topic. The answer to question 11 is C. A question that an author does not expect you to answer. It is mainly used to get someone interested in what they are about to read. Question 12. Based on the way it is used in the passage, which of the following is an example of something that is unkempt? A. A pile of dirty socks. B. A neatly typed letter. C. An empty refrigerator. Or D. A cool lake on a hot day. The passage says an unkempt bed has rumpled sheets, making it messy. Among the options, a pile of dirty socks best matches the meaning of unkempt. The answer to question 12 is A. A pile of dirty socks. Question 13. According to the passage, dust mites. A. Can be bigger than you would expect. B. Like places with lots of air and light. C. Are very dangerous. Or D. Are mostly harmless. The passage explains that dust mites are mostly harmless, although they can cause problems for people with allergies. The answer to question 13 is D. Are mostly harmless. Question 14. According to the passage, how does making your bed affect dust mites? A. When you leave your bed unmade, you bring so much light and fresh air into the bed that all the dust mites in the area will die instantly. B. When you leave your bed unmade, you give the dust mites a nice messy place where they can live and reproduce. This means that leaving your bed unmade can make the dust mites grow larger and stronger. C. When you make your bed, you create a cleaner environment. This means that making your bed decreases the amount of dust mites in your bed. Or D. When you make your bed, you give dust mites a dark, moist place filled with food. This means that making your bed increases the amount of dust mites in your bed. The passage explains that making your bed traps sweat, skin, and dust mites, creating a better environment for them to thrive. The answer to question 14 is D. When you make your bed, you give dust mites a dark, moist place filled with food. This means that making your bed increases the amount of dust mites in your bed. Question 15. Read the following sentence. People who are allergic to dust mites are actually allergic to dust mite poop. If added to this passage, where would this sentence fit best? A. Paragraph 2. B. Paragraph 3. C. Paragraph 4. Or D. Paragraph 5. This sentence would fit best in paragraph 2, where the passage first describes the effects of dust mites on people with allergies. The answer to question 15 is A. Paragraph 2. Question 16. What is the purpose of this passage? A. to suggest that making your bed can make your room look much neater. B. To explain why not making your bed can actually be good for your health. C. To prove that dust mites can make many people very sick. Or D. To show that there are over 1 million dust mites living in your bed. The passage explains that leaving your bed unmade can reduce the number of dust mites, which can help people with allergies and asthma. The answer to question 16 is B. To explain why not making your bed can actually be good for your health. Question 17. As used in paragraph 2, the word menacing most nearly means A. Innocent, B. Friendly, C. Swollen, or D. Harmful. The passage describes how dust mites may look scary under a microscope, but they are mostly harmless. Menacing here means harmful or threatening. The answer to question 17 is D. Harmful. Question 18. What do you think your body would look like without a skeleton? Why? A. Everything would be a big jumble inside my skin. B. My body would look like a puddle on the floor because there would not be anything to hold my body up. C. Both A and B are correct. Or D. My body would become more slim than it was. The passage explains that the skeleton provides structure and support to the body. Without it, your body would collapse or become a big mess inside your skin. The answer to question 18 is C. Both A and B are correct. Which of the following is an example of weight-bearing activities that is not in the text? A. Playing basketball or volleyball. B. Walking. C. Eating while doing other activities. Or D. Sleeping. Weight-bearing activities involve working against gravity, such as walking or playing sports. Among the options, playing basketball or volleyball is an example of weight-bearing activities that are not mentioned in the text. The answer to question 19 is A. Playing basketball or volleyball. Question 20. Why does the number of bones in your body change from 300 when you are a baby to 206 when you are an adult? A. They just simply vanish. B. Some of the bones got broken as baby grows. C. As a baby grows, some of the bones grow together. Or D. As a baby grows, some of the bones shrink until they're gone. The passage explains that as babies grow, some of their bones fuse together to form a stronger and more structured skeleton. The answer to question 20 is C. As a baby grows, some of the bones grow together. Question 21. How is this text organized? Did the subheadings help you read the text? A. The text has an introduction, then 2 subheadings with a conclusion in the last part. Yes, the subheadings give me an idea about what I will be reading and what is going on. B. The text has an introduction, then 3 parts. Yes, the subheadings give me an idea about what I will be reading and what is going on. C. The text has no introduction, but has 3 parts. No, the subheadings confused me a bit. Or D. The text has no introduction, but has 2 subheadings. No, the subheadings are completely irrelevant to what is later stated in the paragraph. The text starts with an introduction, followed by 3 main sections with helpful subheadings that guide the reader. The answer to question 21 is B. The text has an introduction, then 3 parts. Yes, the subheadings give me an idea about what I will be reading and what is going on. Question 22. What do you think the word flexible means? A. Flexible means to be tough. B. Flexible means to be soft. C. Flexible means to be able to twist your body forcefully. Or D. Flexible means to be able to bend easily. The passage describes flexibility as the ability to bend or move easily, which is why baby bones made of cartilage are described as flexible. The answer to question 22 is D. Flexible means to be able to bend easily. Question 23. Why are babies so flexible? A. Some baby bones are soft. B. Some baby bones are partly cartilage. C. Some baby bones are elastic. Or D. Some baby bones are retractable. The passage explains that baby bones are partly cartilage, which makes them softer and more flexible than adult bones. The answer to question 23 is B. Some baby bones are partly cartilage. Question 24. The author says that bones are a living part of your body. What proof does the author give that they are alive? A. Bones are alive because they can grow and only living things can grow. B. Bones are alive because they are inside the human body and humans are living things. C. Bones are alive because they can continue functioning without human and independency proves that it's a living thing. Or D. Bones are alive because it absorbs oxygen just like other living things. The passage states that bones can grow and only living things have the ability to grow. The answer to question 24 is A. Bones are alive because they can grow and only living things can grow. Question 25. Out in the woods stood a nice little fir tree. The place he had was a very good one. The sun. A. Lights. B. Burned. C. Shone. Or D. Dimmed on him. The correct word here is shone, which means the sun was shining brightly on the fir tree. The answer to question 25 is C. Shone. Question 26. He did not think of the warm sun and of the fresh air. He did not care for the little cottage. A. People. B. Villager. C. Elderly. Or D. Children that ran about and prattled when they were in the woods looking for wild strawberries. The context suggests the fir tree didn't care for children who were playing and picking strawberries in the woods. The answer to question 26 is D. Children. Question 27. The children often came with a whole A. Pitcher. B. Tray. C. Glass. Or D. Plate full of berries. A pitcher full of berries is most suitable in this context. The answer to question 27 is a pitcher. Question 28. At the end of a year, he had shot up a good A. Deal, B. Dare, C. Request, or D. Plan. The phrase a good deal fits well to describe significant growth in the fir tree. The answer to question 28 is A. Deal. For with fir trees one can always tell by the A. Whispers, B. Shoots, C. Murmurs, or D. Shrieks how many years old they are. The correct word here is shoots, as it refers to the growth of the tree that indicates its age. The answer to question 29 is B. Shoots. Question 30. Oh, were I but such a high tree as the others is. He A. Breathed, B. Panted, C. Sighed, or D. Muttered. The correct word here is sighed, as it conveys the fir tree's longing. The answer to question 30 is C. Sighed. Question 31. When there was a breeze, I could bend with as much. A. Insignificance. B. Fastness. C. Unimportance. Or D. Stateliness as the others. The word stateliness captures the dignity and elegance the tree desires. The answer to question 31 is D. Stateliness. Question 32. Neither the sunbeams, nor the birds, nor the red clouds which morning and evening sailed above him, gave the little tree any A. Pleasure, B. Dishonor, C. Discomfort, or D. Diversion. The word pleasure fits here as it describes what the fir tree lacked. The answer to question 32 is A. Pleasure. Question 33. But 2 winters were past, and in the third the tree was so large that the hare was A. Obliged, B. Hesitant, C. Happy, or D. Obtuse to go round it. The hare was obliged, meaning it had to go around the tree due to its size. The answer to question 33 is A. Obliged. Question 34. In autumn, the woodcutters came and felled some of the largest trees. They were hardly to be A. Remembered, B. Recognized, C. Forgot, or D. Overlooked. The word recognized is correct, as the trees were no longer identifiable after being felled. The answer to question 34 is B. Recognized. Find which among the given choices provides the correct use of commas in these sentences with lists. Circle the letter of the right answer. Question 35. The sentence is, The pig was large, smelly, muddy, and happy. Which option provides the correct use of commas? A. The pig was large, smelly, muddy, and happy. B. The pig was large, smelly, muddy, and happy. C. The pig was large, smelly, muddy, and happy. Or D. The pig was large, smelly, muddy, and happy. The correct use of commas separates each descriptive word to make the sentence clear and readable. The answer to question 35 is C. The pig was large, smelly, muddy, and happy. Question 36. The sentence is, I want an ice cream with chocolate nuts, cream, and fudge sauce. Which option provides the correct use of commas? A. I want an ice cream with chocolate, nuts, cream, and fudge sauce. B. I want an ice cream with chocolate, nuts, cream, and fudge sauce. C. I want an ice cream with chocolate, nuts, cream, and fudge sauce. Or D. I want an ice cream with chocolate, nuts, cream, and fudge sauce. The correct use of commas separates each item in the list to make it clear. The answer to question 36 is C. I want an ice cream with chocolate, nuts, cream, and fudge sauce. Question 37. The sentence is, out came the frog as she coughed, spluttered, and turned orange. Which option provides the correct use of commas? A. Out came the frog as she coughed, spluttered, and turned orange. B. Out came the frog as she coughed, spluttered, and turned orange. C. Out came the frog as she coughed, spluttered, and turned orange. Or D. Out came the frog as she coughed, spluttered, and turned orange. The correct option uses commas after coughed and spluttered to separate the actions. The answer to question 37 is B. Out came the frog as she coughed, spluttered, and turned orange. Question 38. The sentence is, the man was fat, bald, hairy, ugly, and cross. Which option provides the correct use of commas? A. The man was fat, bald, hairy, ugly, and cross. B. The man was fat, bald, hairy, ugly, and cross. C. The man was fat, bald, hairy, ugly, and cross. Or D. The man was fat, bald, hairy, ugly, and cross. The correct use of commas separates each adjective but does not include a comma before and. The answer to question 38 is A. The man was fat, bald, hairy, ugly, and cross. Question 39. The sentence is, Ryan rang the bell, but nobody answered. Which option provides the correct use of commas? A. Ryan rang the bell, but nobody answered. B. Ryan rang the bell, but nobody answered. C. Ryan rang the bell, but nobody answered. Or D. Ryan rang the bell, but nobody answered. A comma is needed before but to separate the two independent clauses. The answer to question 39 is B. Ryan rang the bell, but nobody answered. This is yelling for joy. Sue waved at Errol. Which option provides the correct use of commas? A. Yelling for joy, Sue waved at Errol. B. Yelling for joy, Sue waved at Errol. C. Yelling for joy, Sue waved at Errol. Or D. Yelling for joy, Sue waved at Errol. The comma after yelling for joy clarifies the sentence structure. The answer to question 40 is A. Yelling for joy, Sue waved at Errol. Question 41. The sentence is, Joe, the old pony, was in his field. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. Joe, the old pony, was in his field. B. Joe, the old pony, was in his field. C. Joe, the old pony, was in his field. The correct answer is C, as it starts with a capital letter for Joe, uses commas correctly, and ends with a full stop. The answer to question 41 is C. Joe, the old pony, was in his field. Question 42. The sentence is, he was so old and slow that nobody rode him anymore. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. He was so old and slow that nobody rode him anymore. B. He was so old and slow that nobody rode him anymore. C. He was so old and slow that nobody rode him anymore. The correct answer is A, as it starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. The answer to question 42 is A. He was so old and slow that nobody rode him anymore. Question 43. The sentence is, the wind was blowing. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. The wind was blowing. B. The wind was blowing. C. The wind was blowing. The correct answer is B, as it uses a lowercase blowing and ends with a full stop. The answer to question 43 is B. The wind was blowing. Question 44. The sentence is, he felt cold and lonely. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. He felt cold and lonely. B. He felt cold and lonely. C. He felt cold and lonely. The correct answer is B, as it follows the correct capitalization and punctuation rules. The answer to question 44 is B. He felt cold and lonely. Question 45. The sentence is, just then, Jazz and Hal rode by on their bikes. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. Just then, Jazz and Hal rode by on their bikes. B. Just then, Jazz and Hal rode by on their bikes. C. Just then, Jazz and Hal rode by on their bikes. The correct answer is C, as it capitalizes Jazz and Hal, which are proper nouns, and uses correct punctuation. The answer to question 45 is C. Just then, Jazz and Hal rode by on their bikes. Question 46. The sentence is, they were going home for tea. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. They were going home for tea. B. They were going home for tea. C. They were going home for tea. The correct answer is A, as it uses correct capitalization and ends with a full stop. The answer to question 46 is A. They were going home for tea. Question 47. The sentence is, they felt so sorry for old Joe that they stopped to stroke him. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. They felt so sorry for old Joe that they stopped to stroke him. B. They felt so sorry for old Joe that they stopped to stroke him. C. They felt so sorry for old Joe that they stopped to stroke him. The correct answer is B, as it capitalizes Joe and uses the correct punctuation. The answer to question 47 is B. They felt so sorry for old Joe that they stopped to stroke him. Question 48. The sentence is, at tea time, they told Dad about Joe. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. At tea time, they told Dad about Joe, but at tea time, they told Dad about Joe. C. At tea time, they told Dad about Joe. The correct answer is A, as it uses proper capitalization for Dad and Joe and correctly splits tea time. The answer to question 48 is A. At tea time, they told Dad about Joe. Question 49. The sentence is, Dad said he would help him. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. Dad said he would help him. B. Dad said he would help him. C. Dad said he would help him. The correct answer is A, as it starts with a capital letter for Dad and ends with a full stop. The answer to question 49 is A. Dad said he would help him. Sentences. After tea, Dad went to the shed and got an old green coat and a thin rope. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. After tea, Dad went to the shed and got an old green coat and a thin rope. B. After tea, Dad went to the shed and got an old green coat and a thin rope. C. After tea, Dad went to the shed and got an old green coat and a thin rope. The correct answer is C, as it capitalizes Dad correctly and uses the proper structure. The answer to question 50 is C. After tea, Dad went to the shed and got an old green coat and a thin rope. Question 51. The sentence is, Jazz and Hal got the end of a loaf of bread. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. Jazz and Hal got the end of a loaf bread. B. Jazz and Hal got the end of a loaf bread. C. Jazz and Hal got the end of a loaf bread. The correct answer is C, as it capitalizes Jazz and Hal correctly while keeping loaf bread in lowercase. The answer to question 51 is C. Jazz and Hal got the end of a loaf bread. Question 52. The sentence is, Dad and Jazz and Hal went back to Joe's field. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. Dad and Jazz and Hal went back to Joe's field. B. Dad and Jazz and Hal went back to Joe's field. C. Dad and Jazz and Hal went back to Joe's field. The correct answer is B, as it capitalizes all proper nouns, including Joe. The answer to question 52 is B. Dad and Jazz and Hal went back to Joe's field. Question 53. The sentence is, quickly, Dad put the old coat over Joe's back and tied it on with rope. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. Quickly, Dad put the old coat over Joe's back and tied it on with rope. B. Quickly, Dad put the old coat over Joe's back and tied it on with rope. C. Quickly, Dad put the old coat over Joe's back and tied it on with rope. The correct answer is B, as it capitalizes Dad and Joe correctly and uses proper punctuation. The answer to question 53 is B. Quickly, Dad put the old coat over Joe's back and tied it on with rope. Question 54. The sentence is, in no time at all, Joe was as warm as toast. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. In no time at all, Joe was as warm as toast. B. In no time at all, Joe was as warm as toast. C. In no time at all, Joe was as warm as toast. The correct answer is A, as it starts with a capital letter for Joe and ends with a full stop. The answer to question 54 is A. In no time at all, Joe was as warm as toast. Question 55. The sentence is, Jazz and Hal gave Joe some of the loaf to eat. Which option shows the correct use of full stops and capital letters? A. Jazz and Hal gave Joe some of the loaf to eat. B. Jazz and Hal gave Joe some of the loaf to eat. C. Jazz and Hal gave Joe some of the loaf to eat. The correct answer is C, as it capitalizes all proper nouns, including Jazz, Hal, and Joe. The answer to question 55 is C. Jazz and Hal gave Joe some of the loaf to eat. Underline the correct form of the verb that should be used to complete the sentence. Question 56. The sentence is, he has just wrote, written, write to his cousin to ask if he had, took, taken, take the book. For the first blank, the correct word is written, as it is the past participle of write. For the second blank, the correct word is taken, as it is the past participle of take. The answer to question 56 is written and taken. Question 57. The sentence is, after he had sung, sang, sing the song, I spoke, speak, spoken to him. For the first blank, the correct word is sung, as it is the past participle of sing. For the second blank, the correct word is spoke, as it is the simple past tense of speak. The answer to question 57 is sung and spoke. Question 58. The sentence is, if I had, rang, rung, ring, the bell she would have, woke, woken, wake, in time. For the first blank, the correct word is rung, as it is the past participle of ring. For the second blank, the correct word is woken, as it is the past participle of wake. The answer to question 58 is rung and woken. Question 59. The sentence is, before I ate, eaten, eat my dinner I went and swim, swam, swum in the lake. For the first blank, the correct word is ate, as it is the simple past tense of eat. For the second blank, the correct word is swam, as it is the simple past tense of swim. The answer to question 59 is ate and swam. Sentence is, the coat which he, wear, worn, wore, had been, steal, stole, stolen. For the first blank, the correct word is wore, as it is the simple past tense of wear. For the second blank, the correct word is stolen, as it is the past participle of steal. The answer to question 60 is war and stolen. Read the following sentences. Find which among the given choices provides the correct use of speech marks. Circle the letter of the right answer. Question 61. The sentence is, "What's for dinner?" Jacinda asked her dad. Which option shows the correct use of speech marks? A. What's for dinner? Jacinda asked her dad. B. What's for dinner? Jacinda asked her dad. C. What's for dinner? Jacinda asked her dad. The correct answer is A, as it places the spoken words inside quotation marks and uses the correct punctuation. The answer to question 61 is A. What's for dinner? Jacinda asked her dad. Question 62. The sentence is, the witch looked at her sisters and asked, "When will we three meet again?" Which option shows the correct use of speech marks? A. The witch looked at her sisters and asked, "When will we three meet again?" B. The witch looked at her sisters and asked, "When will we three meet again?" C. The witch looked at her sisters and asked, "When will we three meet again?" The correct answer is C, as it places the question within quotation marks and uses the correct punctuation. The answer to question 62 is C. The witch looked at her sisters and asked, "When will we three meet again?" Question 63. The sentence is, the mouse looked at the fox and quivered, "Please don't eat me." Which option shows the correct use of speech marks? A. The mouse looked at the fox and quivered, "Please don't eat me." B. The mouse looked at the fox and quivered, "Please don't eat me." C. The mouse looked at the fox and quivered, "Please don't eat me." The correct answer is A, as it correctly places the spoken words in quotation marks. The answer to question 63 is A. The mouse looked at the fox and quivered, "Please don't eat me." Question 64. The sentence is, "I'm stuck," declared Sam as he held up his hand. Can you help me please? Which option shows the correct use of speech marks? A. I'm stuck, declared Sam as he held up his hand. Can you help me please? B. I'm stuck, declared Sam as he held up his hand. Can you help me please? C. I'm stuck, declared Sam as he held up his hand. Can you help me please? The correct answer is B, as it places both spoken phrases in quotation marks and uses proper punctuation. The answer to question 64 is B. I'm stuck, declared Sam as he held up his hand. Can you help me please? Question 65. The sentence is, "Goal," shouted the boy as the ball went to the back of the net. Which option shows the correct use of speech marks? A. Goal, shouted the boy as the ball went to the back of the net. B. Goal, shouted the boy as the ball went to the back of the net. C. Goal, shouted the boy as the ball went to the back of the net. The correct answer is C, as it places the exclamation inside the quotation marks and uses proper punctuation. The answer to question 65 is C. Goal, shouted the boy as the ball went to the back of the net. Question 66. The sentence is, Sparky was determined to retrieve the tennis ball. Which option shows the correct spelling of the word? A. Deterred, B. Deteriorated, C. Deturned, or D. Determined. The correct spelling is determined, meaning having a strong will to do something. The answer to question 66 is D. Determined. Question 67. The sentence is, last week, we gave the garage a thorough clean out. Which option shows the correct spelling of the word? A. Through, B. Thorough, C. Through, or D. Truth. The correct spelling is thorough, meaning detailed and complete. The answer to question 67 is B. Thorough. Question 68. The sentence is, this jelly is simply marvellous, the Queen exclaimed. Which option shows the correct spelling of the word? A. Marvellous, B. Marvellous, C. Marvel, or D. Marble. The correct spelling is marvellous, meaning extraordinary or wonderful. The answer to question 68 is A. Marvellous. Question 69. The sentence is, Darryl placed his curly signature on the document. Which option shows the correct spelling of the word? A. Signature, B. Signature, C. Signature, or D. Signage. The correct spelling is signature, meaning a person's name written in their own handwriting. The answer to question 69 is C. Signature. Question 70. The sentence is, amazingly, bees use a variety of dances to communicate. Which option shows the correct spelling of the word? A. Commune, B. Commute, C. Communicate, or D. Communicate. The correct spelling is communicate, meaning to share or exchange information. The answer to question 70 is D. Communicate. On the blank. Question 71. The question is, what is the probability of the spinner not landing on 1 or 4? A. 1/5, B. 1/4, C. 1/3, or D. 1/2. The spinner has 8 sections. Numbers 1 and 4 take up a total of 4 sections. The probability of not landing on 1 or 4 is the remaining 4 out of 8 sections, which simplifies to 1/2. The answer to question 71 is D. 1/2. Question 72. The question is, what is the probability of the spinner landing on 2 or 4? A. 1/4, B. 3/8, C. 1/6, or D. 1/2. The spinner has 4 sections labelled 2 and 1 section labelled 4, making a total of 4 sections out of 8. This simplifies to 1/2. The answer to question 72 is D. 1/2. Question 73. The question is, what is the probability of the spinner not landing on 1? A. 5/8, B. 3/8, C. 4/5, or D. 2/5. The spinner has 3 sections labelled 1, leaving 5 out of 8 sections for other numbers. The probability is 5/8. The answer to question 73 is A. 5/8. Question 74. The question is, do you have an equal chance of landing on either 1 or 2? A. No, or B. Yes. The spinner has 3 sections labelled 1 and 3 sections labelled 2, so the chance of landing on either is equal. The answer to question 74 is B. Yes. Question 75. The question is, what is the probability of the spinner landing on 2 or 3? A. 4/5, B. 1/2, C. Both A and B are correct, or D. None of the above. The spinner has 3 sections labelled 2 and 1 section labelled 3, making a total of 4 out of 8 sections. This simplifies to 1/2. The answer to question 75 is B. 1/2. Question 76. The question is, what is the probability of throwing a 3? The options are 1/6, 3/8, 4/5, 1/3. A fair dice has 6 sides, and each side has an equal chance of being rolled. Since there is only one side with the number 3, the probability is 1 out of 6. The answer to question 76 is 1/6. Question 77. The question is, what is the probability of throwing a 7? The options are 1, 1/2, 0, 1/4. A standard dice has numbers from 1 to 6, so it is impossible to roll a 7. The probability is 0. The answer to question 77 is 0. Question 78. The question is, what is the probability of rolling an even number? The options are 1/3, 1/4, 1/2, 1/5. A dice has 3 even numbers, 2, 4, and 6. This makes 3 out of 6 possible outcomes, which simplifies to 1/2. The answer to question 78 is 1/2. Question 79. The question is, what is the probability of rolling a prime number? The options are 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 1/2. A dice has prime numbers 2, 3, and 5. This is 3 out of 6 outcomes, which simplifies to 1/2. The answer to question 79 is 1/2. Question 80. The question is, what is the probability of rolling a factor of 6? The options are 2/3, 2/5, 4/5, 5/6. The factors of 6 on a dice are 1, 2, 3, and 6, which is 4 out of 6 outcomes. This simplifies to 2/3. The answer to question 80 is 2/3. Question 81. The question is, if one card is picked at random from a pack of 52 playing cards, what is the probability that it is a king? The options are A, 1/13, B, 2/3, C, 1, or D, 1/4. There are 4 kings in a pack of 52 cards. The probability is 4 out of 52, which simplifies to 1/13. The answer to question 81 is A, 1/13. Question 81. The question is, if one card is picked at random from a pack of 52 playing cards, what is the probability that it is a king? The options are A, 1/13, B, 2/3, C, 1, or D, 1/4. There are 4 kings in a pack of 52 cards. The probability is 4 out of 52, which simplifies to 1/13. The answer to question 81 is A, 1/13. Question 82. The question is, what is the probability of picking the ace of spades? The options are A, 4/50 seconds, B, 3/50 seconds, C, 2/50 seconds, or D, 1/50 second. There is only one ace of spades in the pack, so the probability is 1 out of 52. The answer to question 82 is D, 1/50 second. Question 83. The question is, what is the probability of picking a heart? The options are A, 11/50 seconds, B, 12/50 seconds, C, 13/50 seconds, or D, 14/50 seconds. There are 13 hearts in a pack of 52 cards, so the probability is 13 out of 52. The answer to question 83 is C, 13/50 seconds. Is a cash bag contains 2 20p coins, 5 5p coins, 4 10p coins, 3 2p coins, and 3 1p coins. Find the probability of picking a 10p coin. The options are A, 1/17, B, 2/17, C, 3/17, or D, 4/17. There are 17 coins in total, and 4 of them are 10p coins. The probability is 4/17. The answer to question 84 is D, 4/17. Question 85. The question is, what is the probability of picking a 2p coin? The options are A, 1/17, B, 2/17, C, 3/17, or D, 4/17. There are 3 coins that are 2p out of 17. The probability is 3/17. The answer to question 85 is C, 3/17. Question 86. The question is, what is the probability of picking a silver coin? The options are A, 11/17, B, 12/17, C, 13/17, or D, 14/17. A silver coin includes the 20p, 10p, and 5p coins. There are 2 plus 4 plus 5 equals 11 silver coins out of 17. The probability is 11/17. The answer to question 86 is A, 11/17. Question 87. The question is, a bag contains 5 green balls, 2 red balls, and 4 yellow balls. What is the probability of picking a green ball? The options are A, 2/11, B, 3/11, C, 4/11, or D, 5/11. There are 11 balls in total, and 5 of them are green. The probability is 5/11. The answer to question 87 is D, 5/11. Question 88. The question is, what is the probability of picking a red ball? The options are A, 2/11, B, 3/11, C, 4/11, or D, 5/11. There are 2 red balls out of 11. The probability is 2/11. The answer to question 88 is A, 2/11. Question 89. The question is, what is the probability of picking a yellow ball? The options are A, 2/11, B, 3/11, C, 4/11, or D, 5/11. There are 4 yellow balls out of 11. The probability is 4/11. The answer to question 89 is C, 4/11. Question 90. The question is, in a bag with 6 balls numbered 1 to 6, what is the probability of taking out the ball numbered 5? The options are A, 1/6, B, 1/5, C, 1/4, or D, 1/3. There are 6 balls and only one is numbered 5. The probability is 1 out of 6. The answer to question 90 is A, 1/6. Question 91. The question is, what is the probability of picking the King of Hearts from a pack of 52 cards? The options are A, 5 50-seconds, B, 3 50-seconds, C, 1 50-second, or D, 7 50-seconds. There is only one King of Hearts in the pack, so the probability is 1 out of 52. The answer to question 91 is C, 1 50-second. Question 92. The question is, if a coin is thrown 10 times, how many times is it likely to land on heads? The options are A, 3 out of 7, B, 1/2, C, 5 out of 8, or D, 2/3. Since the probability of getting heads in one toss is 1/2, it is likely to land on heads 5 out of 10 times. The answer to question 92 is B, 1/2. Question 93. The question is, in a bag with 3 red balls and 4 blue balls, what is the probability of picking a red ball? The options are A, 2/7, B, 3/7, C, 4/7, or D, 1. There are 3 red balls out of a total of 7 balls. The probability is 3/7. The answer to question 93 is B, 3/7. Question 94. The question is, what is the probability of picking a blue ball? The options are A, 4/7, B, 3/7, C, 2/7, or D, 0. There are 4 blue balls out of 7. The probability is 4/7. The answer to question 94 is A, 4/7. Question 95. The question is, what is the probability of picking a yellow ball? The options are A, 1/7, B, 3/7, C, 4/7, or D, 0. Since there are no yellow balls in the bag, the probability is 0. The answer to question 95 is D, 0. Question 96. The question is, a boy throws 2 fair dice once each. What is the probability that he gets a double 6? The options are A, 1/36, B, 1/24, C, 1/12, or D, 1/6. Each die has 6 faces, so the total number of outcomes is 36. There is only one outcome with a double 6. The probability is 1/36. The answer to question 96 is A, 1/36.
Okay, question 97. It's a very simple reason here. Look at what is changing from box to box. Okay, you can see the circle is moving left, then right, then left, then right. Okay, so if we're going to reverse that change, we're going to go backwards one. We know that this circle should be on the right side and it should be a bit further up, because you see the circle is actually going downwards. Okay, so it's either going to be B or C. What else is changing? You can see the rectangle at the bottom slowly rising. Okay, that means the first box should be a bit lower than the second box, which is going to be option B. Second question, 98. You can see box 1 is exactly the same as box 3, meaning this box should be exactly the same. It's a skipping pattern here. 1, 3, 5. Okay, only option B is exactly.
Question 99. The equation is 5 times 3 plus 10 equals 11 plus 12 plus 2, 4, 6, 8. The correct answer is 2. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 10 is 25. On the right-hand side, 11 plus 12 is 23. 23 plus 2 is 25. Both sides equal 25 when you add 2. The answer to question 99 is 2. Take a moment to think about that. Question 100. The equation is 40 divided by 10 minus 1 equals 10, 15, 20, 25, minus 13, minus 4. The correct answer is 20. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 40 divided by 10 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. On the right-hand side, 20 minus 13 is 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. Both sides equal 3 when you use 20. Pause for a moment to let that sink in. The answer to question 100 is 20. Question 101. The sentence is dripping with sweat. Carol pulled open the window. The options are A. Dripping with sweat. Carol pulled open the window. B. Dripping with sweat. Carol pulled open the window. C. Dripping with sweat. Carol pulled open the window. D. Dripping with sweat. Carol pulled open the window. To make the sentence clearer, we need to separate the descriptive clause dripping with sweat from the main action. The answer to question 101 is C. Double quote. Question 102. The sentence is, the flamingo turned suddenly snapping its beak. The options are A. The flamingo turned suddenly snapping its beak. B. The flamingo turned suddenly snapping its beak. C. The flamingo turned suddenly snapping its beak. D. The flamingo turned suddenly snapping its beak. To clarify the action, we add a comma after suddenly to separate the two actions. The answer to question 102 is A. Question 103. He had, took, taken, take the day off because he is, was, are sick. The correct answer is taken, was. Explanation. Had taken is the past perfect tense used to show an action that was completed before another event in the past. The second part uses was as it describes a past state of being. Question 104. The gardener stood, standing, stand near the hole he had, digging, dug, dig. The correct answer is stood, dug. Explanation. Stood is the past tense form of stand, indicating the gardener's position in the past. Dug is the past participle of dig, as it complements had to form the past perfect tense. Question 105. The whistle was blown, blew, blow, and the game began, begun, begin. The correct answer is blown, began. Explanation. Blown is the past participle used in the passive voice with was. Began is the simple past tense of begin, which fits the second part of the sentence. Question 106. The mother cried because she, knowing, knew that her son had done the robbery. The correct answer is knew. Explanation. Knew is the past tense of know, matching the timeline of the action in the sentence. It indicates that the mother already had this knowledge at the time. Question 107. When he had, drew, drawn, the picture, he gave, given, give it to the lady. The correct answer is drawn, gave. Explanation. Had drawn is the past perfect tense, indicating the completion of drawing before another action. Gave is the past tense of give, which completes the sentence. Fill up the blanks with the appropriate verb form needed. Choose from the given inside the parenthesis. The verb give. In the present tense, we say give. The past tense is gave. Let's say that together, gave, and the past participle is given. For example, I have given my book to Sarah. Great. Now let's move on to the next one. The verb go. In the present, we say go. The past tense is went. Say that with me, went, and the past participle is gone. For example, she has gone to the shop. Okay, next we have the verb hold. In the present tense, we say hold. The past tense is held, and the past participle is also held. For example, I held the puppy yesterday, or I have held this before. Take a moment to think about that before we continue. Let's move on to know. In the present, we say know. The past tense is knew. Let's say that together. Knew, and the past participle is known. For example, she has known him for years. Take a short pause to let that sink in. All right, now we have ring. In the present, we say ring. The past tense is rang, and the past participle is rung. For example, I rang the doorbell yesterday, or the bell has rung already. Pause for a moment and think about it. Next is rise. In the present tense, we say rise. The past tense is rose. Let's say that rose, and the past participle is risen. For example, the sun has risen. Let's pause again here. Now let's look at sing. In the present, we say sing. The past tense is sang, and the past participle is sung. For example, I sang yesterday, or I have sung this song many times. Take a moment to think about that. Okay, next is speak. In the present, we say speak. The past tense is spoke, and the past participle is spoken. For example, I spoke to him earlier, or I have spoken to her already. Let's pause for a bit. Now let's go to stand. In the present tense, we say stand. The past tense is stood, and the past participle is also stood. For example, I stood there for an hour, or I have stood in this spot before. Take a moment to think about that one. We have steal. In the present, we say steal. The past tense is stole, and the past participle is stolen. For example, he stole my pen yesterday, or my pen has been stolen. Question 118. The sentence is, John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. Now let us look at the choices. Option A says, John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. Option B says, John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. Option C says, John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. The correct answer is option C. Why? Because the speech marks should go around the entire spoken sentence, including the question mark. So it looks like this. John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. Take a moment to think about that. Question 119. Next we have, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. Here are the choices. Option A says, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. Option B says, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. Option C says, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. The correct answer is option C. Why? Because whenever someone is shouting or saying something directly, the entire phrase they say needs to be inside speech marks. So, it should be, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. Let us pause for a moment to think about that. Question 120. Finally we have, the policeman asked, can I see your license, please? Here are the choices. Option A says, the policeman asked, can I see your license, please? Option B says, the policeman asked, can I see your license, please? Option C says, the policeman asked, can I see your license, please? The correct answer is option A. Why? Because when the policeman's question is directly quoted, it needs to be inside speech marks. The sentence should read, the policeman asked, can I see your license, please? Notice how the speech marks start and end around the question. Take a moment to let that sink in. Question 118. The sentence is, John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. Now let us look at the choices. Option A says, John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. Option B says, John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. Option C says, John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. The correct answer is option B. Why? Because the speech marks should go around the entire spoken sentence, including the question mark. So, it looks like this. John, can you hold this? Asked Joanne. Take a moment to think about that. Question 119. Next, we have, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. Here are the choices. Option A says, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. Option B says, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. Option C says, off with her head, shouted the Queen of Hearts. The correct answer is option C. Why? Because whenever someone is shouting or saying something directly, the entire phrase they say needs to be inside speech marks. So it should be, "Off with her head," shouted the Queen of Hearts. Let us pause for a moment to think about that. Question 120. Finally we have. The policeman asked, "Can I see your license, please?" Here are the choices. Option A says, the policeman asked, "Can I see your license, please?" Option B says, the policeman asked, "Can I see your license, please?" Option C says, the policeman asked, "Can I see your license, please?" The correct answer is option A. Why? Because when the policeman's question is directly quoted, it needs to be inside speech marks. The sentence should read, the policeman asked, "Can I see your license, please?" Notice how the speech marks start and end around the question. Take a moment to let that sink in. Encircle the correct spelling of the misspelled word. Question 121. The sentence is, the first dictionary was thought to be published in 1604. The choices are dictionary, dictionary, and divisionary. The correct answer is dictionary. Why? Because dictionary is the correct spelling of the word used to refer to a book that contains words and their meanings. The other two options are misspelled versions. Take a moment to think about that. Question 122. The sentence is, police are looking for the individual shown in these photos. The choices are individual, individual, and individual. The correct answer is individual. Why? Because individual is the correct spelling of the word used to describe a single person or entity. The other options have extra or incorrect letters. Let us pause for a moment so you can think about it. Question 123. The sentence is, our school's computer system has been down all day. The choices are SASTEM, system, and STEAM. The correct answer is system. Why? Because system is the correct spelling of the word used to describe a set of connected things or parts working together. The other options do not make sense in this context. Question 124. The sentence is, immediately the class burst into a round of applause. The choices are immediately, immediately, and emergency. The correct answer is immediately. Why? Because immediately is the correct spelling of the word used as to describe something that happens at once or without delay. The other two options are incorrect. Take a moment to think about that. Question 125. The sentence is, last week's competition was unfortunately postponed. The choices are composition, competition, and competition. The correct answer is competition. Why? Because competition is the correct spelling of the word used to describe an event where people or teams compete. The other two options are misspelled. Question 126. The sentence is, my dog may look aggressive, but she's actually really friendly. The choices are aggressive, aggression, and aggressive. The correct answer is aggressive. Why? Because aggressive is the correct spelling of the word used to describe behavior that is hostile or forceful. The other options do not fit the sentence. Take a moment to let that sink in. Question 127. The sentence is, can I persuade you to read my latest screenplay? The choices are password, password, and password. The correct answer is password. Why? Because password is the correct spelling of the word used as a secret key to access something. The sentence seems to use the wrong context, but this is the correct spelling. Pause for a moment to think about it. Question 128. The sentence is, those trainers look oddly familiar, mused Simon. The choices are familial, familiar, and familiar. The correct answer is familiar. Why? Because familiar is the correct spelling of the word used to describe something well-known or recognizable. The other options are not correct. Question 129. The sentence is, according to the league table, our team is in first place. The choices are according, accord, and acronym. The correct answer is according. Why? Because according is the correct spelling of the word used to refer to something based on a source. The other options do not make sense in this context. Take a moment to think about that. Question 130. The sentence is, an amphibious vehicle can take people across land and water. The choices are vesicle, vehicle, and vehement. The correct answer is vehicle. Why? Because vehicle is the correct spelling of the word used to describe a mode of transport like a car or bus. The other options are incorrect. Question 131. The sentence is, the broken plant pot would require an expansion. The choices are expansion, expansion, and expansion. The correct answer is expansion. Why? Because expansion is the correct spelling of the word used to describe the process of increasing or growing in size. The other options are misspelled. Question 132. What is the probability of the spinner landing on 3? The choices are option A, 1 over 5. Option B, 1 over 4. Option C, 1 over 3. Option D, 1 over 8. The correct answer is option D, 1 over 8. Why? Because there are 8 equal sections on the spinner and only one section has the number 3. The probability of landing on 3 is 1 out of 8. Let us pause and think about that. Question 133. What is the probability of the spinner landing on 1? The choices are option A, 1 over 4, option B, 3 over 8, option C, 1 over 6, option D, 1 over 2. The correct answer is option B, 3 over 8. Why? Because there are 3 sections with the number 1 out of a total of 8 sections. This makes the probability 3 out of 8. Take a moment to let that sink in. Question 134. What is the probability of the spinner not landing on A or C? The choices are option A, 4 over 11, option B, 5 over 11, option C, 6 over 11, option D, 7 over 11. The correct answer is option B, 5 over 11. Why? Because there are 6 sections that include A or C and 11 total sections. Subtract 6 from 11 to get 5 sections that do not include A or C. The probability is 5 out of 11. Question 135. What is the probability of the spinner not landing on B or E? The choices are option A, 4 over 11, option B, 5 over 11, option C, 6 over 11, option D, 7 over 11. The correct answer is option C, 6 over 11. Why? Because there are 5 sections that include B or E. Subtract 5 from 11 to get 6 sections that do not include B or E. The probability is 6 out of 11. Question 136. What is the probability of the spinner not landing on B? The choices are option A, 8 over 11, option B, 7 over 11, option C, 6 over 11, option D, 5 over 11. The correct answer is option B, 7 over 11. Why? Because there are 4 sections that include B. Subtract 4 from 11 to get 7 sections that do not include B. The probability is 7 out of 11. Take a moment to think about it. Question 137. What is the probability of the spinner not landing on C? The choices are option A, 8 over 11, option B, 7 over 11, option C, 6 over 11, option D, 5 over 11. The correct answer is option B, 7 over 11. Why? Because there are 4 sections that include C. Subtract 4 from 11 to get 7 sections that do not include C. The probability is 7 out of 11. Question 138. Do you have an equal chance of landing on either C or E? The choices are option A, yes. Option B, no. The correct answer is option B, no. Why? because there are 4 sections with C and only 1 section with E. The chances are not equal. Question 139. What is the probability of the spinner landing on C or E? The choices are option A, 4 over 11, option B, 5 over 11, option C, 6 over 11, option D, 7 over 11. The correct answer is option B, 5 over 11. Why? Because there are 4 sections with C and 1 section with E. Add them together to get 5 sections. The probability is 5 out of 11. Take a moment to let that sink in. Question 140. Do you have an equal chance of landing on either B or E? The choices are option A, yes, option B, no. The correct answer is option B, no. Why? Because there are 4 sections with B and only 1 section with E. The chances are not equal. Question 141. What is the probability of throwing a number less than 4? The choices are option A, 2 over 3, option B, 4 over 5, option C, 3 over 6, option D, 5 over 7. The correct answer is option C, 3 over 6. Why? Because there are 6 numbers on a fair die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The numbers less than 4 are 1, 2, and 3, which means there are 3 favourable outcomes out of 6 possible outcomes. Simplifying this gives 1 over 2, but the question's answer is written as 3 over 6, so it matches exactly. Question 142. A boy throws 2 fair dice once each. If he throws only 1 fair die, what is the probability of getting a 3? The choices are option A, 1 over 3, option B, 1 over 4, option C, 1 over 5, option D, 1 over 6. The correct answer is option D, 1 over 6. Why? Because there are 6 sides on a fair die and only one of them shows the number 3. The probability is therefore 1 favourable outcome out of 6 total outcomes, which is 1 over 6. Question 143. What is the probability that the boy gets a 3 or a 4 with 1 fair die? The choices are option A, 1 over 3, option B, 1 over 4, option C, 1 over 5, option D, 1 over 6. The correct answer is option A, 1 over 3. Why? Because there are 6 possible outcomes when rolling a die, and 2 of those outcomes are 3 and 4. The probability is 2 favourable outcomes out of 6 total outcomes. Simplify this to 1 over 3. Take a moment to think about it. Question 157. The equation is 24 minus 10 plus 6 equals 8 plus 7 plus 5, 10, 13, 15. The correct answer is 13. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 24 minus 10 is 14. 14 plus 6 is 20. On the right-hand side, 8 plus 7 is 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. Both sides equal 20 when you add 5. Question 158. The equation is 12 plus 9 plus 8 equals 40. Minus 40, 30, 20, 10 plus 9. The correct answer is 20. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 12 plus 9 is 21. 21 plus 8 is 29. On the right-hand side, 40 minus 20 is 20. 20 plus 9 is 29. Both sides equal 29 when you subtract 20. Take a moment to think about it. Question 159. The equation is 7 times 4 plus 2 equals 5 times. 5, 6, 7, 8 minus 5. The correct answer is 7. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 2 is 30. On the right-hand side, 5 times 7 is 35. 35 minus 5 is 30. Both sides equal 30 when you multiply by 7. Question 160. The equation is 9 times 9 plus 9 equals 10 times 10 minus 7, 8, 9, 10. The correct answer is 10. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 9 times 9 is 81. 81 plus 9 is 90. On the right-hand side, 10 times 10 is 100. 100 minus 10 is 90. Both sides equal 90 when you subtract 10. Take a moment to let that sink in. Question 161. The equation is 80 minus 42 plus 5 equals 8 times 5, 10, 15, 20 plus 3. The correct answer is 5. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 80 minus 42 is 38. 38 plus 5 is 43. On the right-hand side, 8 times 5 is 40. 40 plus 3 is 43. Both sides equal 43 when you multiply by 5. Question 162. The equation is 48 minus 18 minus 7 equals 6, 7, 8, 9 times 3 plus 2. The correct answer is 7. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 48 minus 18 is 30. 30 minus 7 is 23. On the right-hand side, 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 2 is 23. Both sides equal 23 when you multiply by 7. Let us pause for a moment. Question 163. The equation is 4 times 5 times 5 equals 33 plus 20, 25, 30, 35 plus 32. The correct answer is 35. Why? Let us solve it step by step. On the left-hand side, 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 5 is 100. On the right-hand side, 33 plus 35 is 68. 68 plus 32 is 100. Both sides equal 100 when you add 35.
Question 164. Matrix question. The pattern is going left to right. So, we know what changed from top left box to top right box is it just went from pointing right to pointing upwards. So this is a 90-degree rotation anti-clockwise. So this one is pointing right, it should now be pointing upwards, which is going to be option 165. The triangle on the outside comes to the inside, whereas the shape on the inside comes to the outside. So if we do the exact same thing, we should get option A, where you got the square on the outside and the pentagon on the inside. Question 166. Pattern is going down. The heart flips upside down. Now if we flip this shape upside down, we'll get option E. Question 167. Pattern is going left to right. If this circle, the white part of it is basically turned black. Same thing is going to happen to this triangle. We'll get option C. Question 168. The cylinder is made smaller. So this triangle should be made smaller, which will be option A. Question 169. The shape is reflected from left to right. If we reflect this shape, we should have lines on the outside, on the right side, and a black side on the left. So it's going to be option B. Why is it not option D? Because this is diagonal. Okay, so that's the wrong pattern. Question 170. Pattern is going left, top to bottom. What you can see has changed is this shape is rotated 90 degrees, and you can see it's pointing to the right now. So if we do the same thing, I mean, to be honest, actually the entire square is rotated 90 degrees, and that is anti-clockwise. So if we do the same thing to this square right here, and you can imagine which way it should be pointing. It should be pointing like this, okay? And it should have two circles on the sides of it, and it should have a circle right here and a circle right here, which is, I believe, option D. Question 171. It's very easy to detect that there should be a line here to make this full diamond. You should also have the lines here, and then you should have the rectangle here. Now, which option looks like this square? It's going to be option A. Question 172. Again, if we fill out this square and then fill out this circle, put a triangle in the corner, watch, and also put a square here. Which one of these options actually looks like that? Well, this is missing the circle, so it's not going to be option A, it's going to be option D. Question 173. Again, imagine this is a full X and you have a circle down here. You also should have a little thing in the top right corner, so that's going to be option E. Question 174. Now this one's a bit more difficult. 9 boxes in a grid. Look for which direction the pattern might be going. So if you look left to right, you can see I've got an arrow pointing right, down and left. Down, left, up. Okay, so it looks like there's no pattern left to right. Maybe check vertically to see if there's a pattern. You've got right and left, and then you've got up and down. So what I would assume is up, and this one should be down. Okay, now how do I confirm that this vertical pattern is correct? Usually when you have a vertical pattern, you've also got some sort of diagonal pattern. So I'm going to draw in another color. Look at what's happening across this diagonal. These are all the exact same. This one, same arrow, okay? So you can see across the diagonals, you have an arrow that is pointing the same direction, okay? So we know our arrow has to be a downwards one. Leaves you with option A. You can see the other pattern that's going on is that it's losing a circle each time. You've got 4, 3, 2, okay? Either way, we know the answer is A. Question 175. Go from left to right. 2 triangles, 1 triangle, no triangles. What about these circles? You've got 4 circles, 3 circles, 5 circles. Okay, it's hard to decipher what a pattern is there, but if we go vertically, 2, 3, 4. That's a bit simpler, isn't it? Same thing with this vertical. You got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we know this is going to be 0, 1. This is going to have 2 triangles. Let's cancel out any of them that don't have 2 triangles. Either A or C. Let's now look at what else changed. So you got 4 circles, 3 circles, 2 circles. So the number of circles decreases. So you got 5, 4. We should have 3, which is going to be option A. Question 176. Very simple. Look left to right. You can see the shape is just getting smaller. So a smaller square is going to be option C. Question 177. Again, look for the diagonals or the verticals. If I look vertically, I can see that each of these squares is a different one. Black, circle, or a stripe. Same for this vertical, same for this vertical. I know it has to be black. You can see the options here look a bit, the colors are a bit washed out, but this is the black one, is what we can assume. Okay, question 178. Line here. So this is a vertical, vertical, and vertical. If we look down this, we've got a flat, a vertical, and a diagonal. Vertical, flat, diagonal. So each column has one of the 3, okay? So if we look at the last column, vertical, diagonal, what's missing? It's a horizontal line, a flat line. Option E is going to be the answer. Question 179. This time we can look left to right, because I can see there's a G in each of these boxes. In the middle, then in the bottom right, and then in the top left. So you can see it's just rotating around as if it's like a conveyor belt. Same for this one, 7, 7, 7. Okay, H should be, this time, if it's been in the middle and it's been in the bottom right, it should be at the top left. And what about the 9? It's been in the, looks like it's in the middle. What about the triangle? Should it be facing up or down? Well, it's facing down in this, so it should be facing down. Option B. Question 180. Left to right. Each time you add a line to the square. Same thing with this row, and then same thing with this row. So we should have 5 lines, or at least that was what I would assume. Which one of these options has 5 lines? Option C. Question 181. I can see a pattern diagonally, I believe. But let's look vertically first. So it's 2 of these stickmen, and then one of them is rotating. So this one rotates, and then it rotates. Okay, so that's 90 degrees each time. Let's look vertically again on this side. This one again is rotating 90 degrees each time, whereas the left stickman is staying the same. So if we rotate this, you can see it's going down, and then it's left. Now it should be standing up straight, which is going to be option E. Question 182. This looks simple. Same shape on each row, but it is rotated differently. This one is to the right, and then it's to the top left. So that is actually more than a 90-degree turn. That is 90 plus 45, because imagine a 90-degree turn would be pointing up, and now it's actually pointing to the diagonal. So 90 plus 45. Okay. Same thing with this one actually. If you imagine how much it rotated this way, it was 90 degrees and then 45. Okay. So we know what's next is after it's done that, it rotates again another 90 degrees plus 45. So that is pointing down. With this one, it's the same thing, but the thing that is joining them all up is they're rotating anti-clockwise, all of them, okay? So if you rotate this 45 degrees, we'll have a box that looks like this. Now if we rotate it at 90 degrees from there, we'll have a box that looks like this, okay, with the black on the right side, which is going to be option A. Question 183, sorry. Going downwards, you can see the plus gets bigger each time, and each time it gets bigger, it removes one of the shapes. Same thing is happening here. It's the line that's actually getting bigger, and it looks like the triangle disappears. This one, so we know the square is going to disappear, this inside shape is going to get bigger. It's going to be option C. Okay, look at verbal reasoning codes. 184. What you have to do with these ones is look at the patterns. So C, how do I get from C to D? How do I get from D to F? So you can count. From C to D was +1, from D to F was +2, F to I was +3, this was +4, so we know we have to go +5 from M. Going to go all the way until R. So it should start with R. It should be either this, this, or this. Look at the second letter. B goes backwards to A. And then it goes from A all the way backwards, -2 to Y. And then -3, and then -4, and then it should be -5 from R. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 5. So we should have M, R, M. Question 185. We go LM to KN. So L to K is -1, K to I is -2, and I to F -3, F to B is -4. So if we go -5 now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it should be W. Now let's look at the other two questions. Sorry, other letters. So it's M to N, that's moving forward, this time 1, and then it's moving by 2. Same pattern, so we know C is going to move forward by 5, okay? Going to be H, so it's going to be W, or at least that's what I thought. Let's have a look. It looks like the pattern is actually a bit different. So N to Q was +3, Q to V was plus 4. No, it was plus 5. Oh, so this was plus 4, plus 5, and then V to C was plus 6. 2, 4, 6. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, plus 6. So from C, we should go 7 forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, which is J. Okay, so we know the last letter, or at least I believe it should be J. But it looks like none of the options here are J, so let's retry. Then M to N was plus 1. N to Q was plus 3. Q to V was plus 5. And then V to C was plus... Okay, that's going to be plus 7, basically. So each time, the number it adds is plus 2. So it's going to be plus 9 from C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it should be L.
Question 184. We're given the sequence C, B, D, A, F, Y, I, V, M, R, and then a missing pair. We need to find the missing pair by figuring out the pattern for the letters. First, look at the first letters in each pair. C, D, F, I, and M. These correspond to positions 3, 4, 6, 9, and 13 in the alphabet. Notice the pattern in how they increase. Plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4. So the next jump is plus 5. Adding 5 to 13 gives us 18, which is the letter R. Next, look at the second letters. B, A, Y, V, and R. Their positions are 2, 1, 7, 5, and 125, 22, and 18. They're going down. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So the next step is minus 5. Subtracting 5 from 18 gives us 13, which is the letter M. Putting it all together, the missing pair is RM question 185. We're given the sequence LM, KN, IQ, FV, BC, and then a missing pair. We need to find the missing pair by figuring out the pattern for the letters. First, let's look at the first letters in each pair, L, K, I, F, and B. Notice how these letters are stepping backwards in the alphabet. L to K is minus 1, K to I is minus 2, I to F is minus 3, and F to B is minus 4. So the pattern is clear. Each step is getting smaller by one more letter. If we continue this pattern, we subtract 5 from B. Since we're going past A, we wrap around to the end of the alphabet, starting at B and going backwards. 5 letters brings us to W. Now, let's look at the second letters in the pairs, M, N, Q, V, and C. This time, the letters are stepping forward in the alphabet. M to N is plus 1, N to Q is plus 3, Q to V is plus 5, and V to C is plus 7. So the pattern is clear. Each step adds more letters. If we continue this pattern, we add 9 to C. Counting forward, 9 letters brings us to L. Putting it all together, the missing pair is WL, question 186. We're given the sequence MA, OF, LK, NP, KU, and then a missing pair. We need to find the missing pair by figuring out the pattern for the letters. First, look at the first letters, M, O, L, N, K. These are positions 13, 15, 12, 14, and 11 in the alphabet. Notice the pattern. Plus 2, then minus 3, plus 2, minus 3. So the next step is plus 2 again. 11 plus 2 is 13, which is M. Now, look at the second letters, A, F, K, P, U. These are positions 1, 6, 11, 16, and 183, 21. They're going up by 5 each time. So from 21, we add 5 to get 26, which is Z. Putting it all together, the missing pair is MZ, question 187. We're given the sequence OM, PL, SI, XD, EW, and then a missing pair. We need to find the missing pair by figuring out the pattern for the letters. First, check the first letters in each pair. O, P, S, X, E. In terms of alphabetical positions, that's 15, 16, 19, 24, and 5. Notice the pattern. +1, +3, +5, +7. To continue, we add 9. So 5 plus 9 is 14, which is N. Now check the second letters. M, L, I, D, W. Their positions are 13, 12, 1, 4, 5, 9, 4, and 23. We're going down by 1, then 3, then 5, then 7. So the next step is -9. 23 minus 9 is 14, which again is N. Putting these together, we get N for the first letter and N for the second letter, making NN question 188. We're given the sequence KL, NI, SD, VA, AV, and then a missing pair. We need to find the missing pair by figuring out the pattern for the letters. First, we look at the first letter in each pair and notice the pattern. It jumps by +3, then -5, then +3, then +5 through the alphabet. After wrapping around when needed, that lands us on the letter D. Next, we look at the second letter in each pair and see another pattern. It goes -3, then -5, then -3, then -5. Following that pattern from the last letter takes us to S. Putting D and S together gives us the missing pair DS. Question 189 first. Look at how MN changes to OS. In alphabetical positions, M is 13 and O is 15, 15, so that's +2. N is 14 and S is 19, so that's +5. Therefore, the rule is first letter goes up by 2 and the second letter goes up by 5. Now apply that rule to PZ. P is 16, and adding 2 gives us 18, which corresponds to RZ is 26. And adding 5 wraps around the alphabet, 26 plus 5 is 31. Subtract 26, which lands on 5, and that's E. Putting it all together, we get RE. That's why PZ goes to RE. Question 190 first. Notice how CF turns into JC. In alphabetical positions, C is 3, F is 6, J is... Question 190 first. Notice how CF turns into JC. In alphabetical positions, C is 3, F is 6, J is 10, and C is 3 again. Moving from C to J adds 7, 3 plus 7 is 10, and moving from F down to C subtracts 3, 6 minus 3 is 3. So the rule is, add 7 to the first letter, subtract 3 from the second letter. Now apply this rule to WX. W is 23, and adding 7 gives us 30. Since the alphabet has only 26 letters, we wrap around by subtracting 26, which lands us on 4, the letter D. For X, which is 24, we subtract 3 to get 21, which is U. Putting it together, we get DU. That's why WX is to DU, just as CF is to JC. Question 191. First, look at the letters in HIJ and how they change. H, 8, goes to F, 6, which is -2. I, 9, goes to L, E, 12, which is +2. 3J, 10, goes to I, 9, which is -1. So the pattern is -2 plus 3 minus 1. Now apply that pattern to PLK. P, 16, minus 2 is 14, which is N, L, 12, plus 3 is 15, which is O. K, 11, minus 1 is 10, which is J. Putting those letters together, we get NOJ. That's why PLK goes to NOJ, just as HIJ goes to FLI. Question 192. Let's see how AB changes to ZY. A is the first letter, and Z is the 26th. B is the second letter, and Y is the 25th, so each letter is being reflected around the middle of the alphabet. Applying that idea to CD, C is the third letter. and its reflection is X, which is the 24th. D is the fourth letter, and its reflection is W, the 23rd. Putting those together, we get XW. That's why CD goes to XW, just like AB goes to ZY. Question 193. Let's see how AD becomes ZE, then apply the same rule to CF. A is the first letter, and Z is the 26th. That's a jump of 25. D is the fourth letter, and E is the fifth. That's a jump of 1. So, for each pair, we're adding 25 to the first letter's position and 1 to the second letter's position, wrapping around if needed. Now apply that to CF. C is the third letter. Adding 25 gives us 28. Subtract 26 for wraparound, which lands us on 2. That's B. F is the sixth letter. Adding 1 makes it 7, which is G. Putting these together, we get BG. That's why CF goes to BG, just like AD goes to ZE. Question 194. Let's look at how SIT becomes TKW. In alphabetical positions, S is 19 and T is 20, so that's plus 1. I is 18, so that's plus 2. T is 20, so that's plus 3. K is 11, so that's plus 4. W is 23, so that's plus 5, 9, and K is 11, so that's plus 2. T is 20, and W is 23, so that's plus 3. It looks like we're adding 1 to the first letter, 2 to the second, and 3 to the third. Now apply this to SIMS, 19, plus 1 is T, 20. I, 9 plus 2 is K, 11. M, 13, plus 3 is P, 16. So the code for SIM is TKP. Question 195. Let's look at how CAT becomes YVN by checking their positions in the alphabet. C is 3, A is 1, and T is 20. When we move to YVN, Y is 25, V is 22, and N is 100. Notice that going from C to Y is a shift of plus 22. 3 plus 22 is 25. A to V is 250 plus 21, 1 plus 21 is 22, and T to N is plus 20 in a wraparound sense. 20 plus 20 is 40, minus 26 lands at 14. So the pattern for the first letter is add 22, for the second letter add 21, and for the third letter add 20. Now apply this pattern to APE. A is 1, plus 22 is 23. P is 2, plus 21 is 23. E is 3, plus 20 is 23, 23, which is W. P is 16, plus 21 is 37, minus 26. Lands on 11, which is K. E is 5, plus 20 is 25, which is Y. Putting it all together, we get WKY. That's why APE becomes WKNG. Question 196. Let's compare the letters in LAST and their coded forms in KBRU. L goes to K, which is minus 1 in the alphabet. A goes to B, which is plus 1. S goes to R, which is minus 1. T goes to U, which is plus 1. Now let's apply a similar idea to MINE. M goes to L, which is minus 1. I goes to J, which is plus 1. N goes to M, which is minus 1. E goes to G, which is plus 1. Putting these together, we get LJMG. That's why the code for MINE is LJMG. Question 197 first. Check how GROW changes to IPQU. G, 7 goes to I, 9, which is plus 2. 18 goes to P, 16, which is plus 2. O, 15 goes to Q, 17, which is plus 2. W, 23 goes to U, 21, which is plus 2. 18 goes to P, 16, which is minus 2. O, 15 goes to Q, 17, which is plus 2. W, 23 goes to UJ, 21, which is minus 2. So the pattern is plus 2, minus 2, plus 2, minus 2 for each letter. Now apply that pattern to MEOW. M, 13, plus 2 is O, 15. E, 5, minus 2 is C, 3. O, 15, plus 2 is Q, 17. W's, 23, minus 2 is U, 21. Putting those together, we get OCQU. That's why SMIAU is the word that codes to OCQ. First, let's see how Friday, Friday, becomes GTLHFE. Looking at each letter in alphabetical positions, F, 6, plus 1 becomes G, 7. R, 18, plus 2 becomes T, 20. I, 9 plus 3 becomes L, 12. D, 4 plus 4 becomes H, 8. A, 1 plus 5 becomes F, 6. Y, 25. Plus 6 is 31. Subtract 26 to wrap around, giving us 5, E. So the pattern is plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6 in that order. Now apply this to Monday, Monday, M, 13, plus 1 is N, 14. O, 15, plus 2 is Q, 17. N, 14, plus 3 is Q, 17. D, 4, plus 4 is H, 8. A, 1 plus 5 is F, 6. Y, 25, plus 6 is 31. Subtract 26 to get 5, E. That spells NQQHFE. That's why Monday gives the code NQQHFE. There are 4 words and 3 codes given below. Each code matches one of the words, but they are not written in the same order. One of the words does not have a code. Work out the correct code for each word and then answer the questions that follow. Circle the correct answer from the choices given below each question. Explanation of how to match 4 words with 3 codes. The words are game, gain, boon, and tele. The codes are 1886, 7253, and 7246. Step 1. Match repeated letters to repeated digits. Boon has 2 O's and 1886 has 2 8s. So Boon matches 1886, which tells us B is 1, O is 8, and N is 6. Step 2. Match words with unique letters to codes with unique digits. That leaves game and gain, and the codes 7253 and 7246. Both codes have unique digits, so they should match words with unique letters. Game matches 7253, meaning G is 7, A is 2, M is 5, E is 3. Gain matches 77246, meaning G is 7, A is 2, I is 4, and N is 6. Step 3. Confirm the leftover word. TELE is the only word left, so it remains uncoded. Here is the complete letter-to-digit list. B is 1, O is 8, N is 6, G is 7, A is 2, M is 5. E is 3, I is 4. Now that we have cracked the code, we are going to use this information to answer questions 199 through 203. Question 199. If B is 1, O is 8, N is 6, G is 7, A is 2, M is 5, E is 3, and I is 4186. 3 means BONE because B corresponds to 1, O corresponds to 8, N corresponds to 5, 6, and E corresponds to 3. So the correct answer is BONE question 200. If B is 1, O is 8, N is 6, G is 7, A is 2, M is 5, E is 3, and I is 4, then 1263 is the code for BANE because B corresponds to 1, A corresponds to 2, N corresponds to 6, and E corresponds to 3. So the correct code is 1263 question 201. If B is 1, O is 8, N is 6, G is 7, A is 2, M is 5, E is 3, and I is 4546. 3 means mine because M corresponds to 5, I corresponds to 4, N corresponds to 6, and E corresponds to 3. So the correct answer is mine. Question 202. If B is 1, O is 8, N is 186, G is 7, A is 2, M is 5, E is 3, and I is 45246 is the code for main because M corresponds to 5, A corresponds to 2, I corresponds to 4, and N corresponds to 6. So the correct code is 5246. Question 203. If B is 1, O is 8, N is 6, G is 7, A is 2, M is 5, E is 3, and I is 46253. Means name because N corresponds to 6, A corresponds to 7. 2, M corresponds to 5, and E corresponds to 3. So the correct answer is name.